I did not expect waking up this morning to see yet more news of yet another performance pony car or muscle car or whatever you want to classify it as being released by another company. We've all seen what Dodge has to offer for the very near future, and it quite literally looks like the fall of the Roman Empire. I mean, of the Dodge Empire, because what if I told you that just today, Shelby introduces the brand new GT500 or the Super Snake or whatever they want to call it, but they have an 830 horsepower beast that's going to come out pretty soon. And it's not just Ford getting in on a bandwagon of deleting Dodge. It seems that GM has done the same thing, and the ZR1 is going to make its return this summer. So I want to go over both of these vehicles, and I want to ask you guys a question. Will the Dodge brand survive over the next few years? Or quite possibly, are these the final days of Dodge? While it may be the final days of Dodge, it is not the final days to save as much money as you can on aftermarket parts for your favorite car, truck, or SUV. Now, whether or not you're driving a Camaro, Corvette, even Teslas, it does not matter. You can go anywhere from Colorados to Broncos to Sierras and Super Duties. My friends at Just Bolt-Ons have you covered, offering a ton of brands and a ton of accessories to make these cars last longer, sound better, and perform better. So you can go hit up my friends at Just Bolt-Ons and use my special coupon code BUTTER at checkout to save up to an additional 15% off on your next order. Here we go. This is Dodge.com, the once popular brand that used to dominate every other car out there. We didn't replace the legend, we built upon it, which is not exactly how a lot of people see. They actually replaced the legend and rebuilt it as an electric car that nobody wants. And to answer for this, other brands are going like, well, we're going to double down with what people want. And so you go over here to Chevy, for example, they are bringing back the ZR1. The 2025 Chevy Corvette ZR1 marks the return of the fabled nameplate last seen in 2019. We're only months away from seeing the new Corvette ZR1 in all its glory, and Chevy just teased the exhaust note of his upcoming Goliath. And that's one thing that, you know, Stellantis, and I'm saying this is about Kuniskis, because I guarantee you, well, I'm not gonna guarantee, I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but I guarantee you that if he had the ability to get emissions credits, that they would still be putting Hemi V8s in their cars. But I'm gonna go back to this article right here that I did another video. Stellantis says no thanks to regulatory emissions credits. The boss of Ram and Dodge, Tim Kuniskis, said that not buying regulatory credits has forced the firm to make efficiency improvements. Hey, Racer X, I see you there, buddy. But he says right here, Tim Kuniskis said that Stellantis chief executive Carlos Tavares is not allowing the firm to ever buy a single credit, and says that has forced the brand to to innovate to ensure it complies with emissions regulations. And he says later on right here, according to Kuniskis, if Stellantis were still buying regulatory credits, it would probably still be selling the Ram 1500 with a Hemi V8 engine, and instead they replaced it with a Hurricane engine that is not tried and true. Because I have friends within the UAW, and I have not really made a video about this, but there is like 7,000 Ram trucks sitting right now around the Detroit plant at SHAP. And for some reason, they're not going to dealers because there is something going on with them. And the one common trend with all those 7,000 vehicles not yet released to dealers that's piling up at the plant is that they all have Hurricane engines in them. So I'm not gonna say exactly what it is wrong with them, but I just know for a fact that there is something wrong with them. This is what we have to thank Stellantis for. They gave us an electric muscle car that no one asked for. I'm pretty sure that if I took a poll, maybe 98% of people would say they would rather have a Hemi V8 muscle car than a electric car that has a fake exhaust system. And that's just what this car is. It is a electric car with a fake exhaust system, and it has all kinds of other systems in the car to make you think that you are reliving your glory days that were just a year ago. Has software in there to sound like a V8, has software in there to vibrate the car like a V8. So we have all this imaginary stuff to make you feel as though that you're in a car from a year ago, but it's not actually the car. Instead of innovating the V8 to make it more efficient to pass emissions like their competitors did, Stellantis basically had Dodge and Ram and all these guys put in Hurricane engines that, as I've said, are not tried and true. And if you go read in some people's comments here and there, they're going to tell you that these engines are going to be a nightmare to service in the near future. But let's get back to the Corvette. Now, the Corvette, like I said, they're going to introduce another brand new model, and it's going to be around 800 horsepower. We expect to see a tuned-up version of the 5.5 liter V8 engine that's currently using the Z06 and possibly have an output exceeding 800 horsepower. Now, Dodge just exceeded 1,000 horsepower with the Demon 170, but that's just a 1 year run. And so hopefully with the ZR1, I hope there's not a 1 year run like the last time, because it's only like 1 year of the ZR1 that came out in like 2019. But it just goes to show that other companies are making cars that people want. And so now it brings me up to what I saw today, because this reveal happened, what, a couple days ago? Yeah. That happened a couple of days ago that we're going to see the ZR1, and Chevy already teased it. And here we go, seeing it right here with this big giant wing on it. That thing's going to be a heck of a car and be heck of expensive. But here we go again today that now Shelby has thrown their hat into the ring. And now here we go with the new Super Snake, or I mean, to me, honestly, it's like a GT500 replacement. If you go and read on this particular new Mustang and watch all the videos on it, it is going to be a very, very fast car. It could quite possibly be a red-eye killer. Now, this particular vehicle, when I was reading through some of the stuff on there, there's only going to be 250 units of it, which kind of sucks. I wish there was maybe like a couple thousand, but there's only going to be 250 units of these. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to take a Mustang GT and throw in a lot of performance parts in there that is tuned together. And then you're going to have this particular vehicle with at least 830 horsepower. And so it's like, why doesn't Dodge have companies like this that will take factory production cars and, you know, do the same type of thing where they go and make their own performance version? Because that seems that how Ford is going to do, right? Ford basically made the Mustang GT, the Mustang Dark Horse, and both of them only have about 500 horsepower. And instead of Ford themselves coming out with a supercharged variant of those two cars, what they did was they let other aftermarket manufacturers like, hey, look, we're going to make this engine and these Mustangs, and we're going to do it to where we can pass emissions so we won't get a very bad penalty. And so we're going to let you guys basically take those engines, take those vehicles. We won't give you a lot of static on more like, well, you can't tune these engines, and then we'll just let you make a performance version of it. And that's basically what this Superstock looks like. It's like a GT500 replacement that Ford didn't have to build, and Ford didn't have to get penalized for emissions. And so this is just a great looking vehicle. And I mean, I was looking through it, and there you go. That's the same supercharger right there that is on that full performance supercharger kit that is available through Ford's parts shop. So this one is basically, I think Ford says on their Ford Performance site that you can get like 800 to 810 horsepower out of this particular package if you just buy it out of their shop and let them install it. And then what Shelby did was they basically turned the power up just a little bit more, and now you got another about 20 horsepower there to take up to 830 horsepower. It just seems to me this is what Ford did. Ford allowed them to do this, work hand in hand with this, so they can still turn out performance vehicles. It's just that Ford won't get penalized for the emissions, which is a very, very clever idea. But apparently Stellantis won't let Dodge do this, or won't let Dodge come out with performance vehicles with a V8 engine in it. Because I've long said that all really Dodge had to do is take the 5.7 Hemi, redesign it, put in some of the tech from the Hurricanes, where you got the coated cylinders and all that crap, direct injection, all that nonsense, and I'm pretty sure that if Ford can get 500 horsepower out of a 5-liter V8, that with a 5.7, Dodge could at least get between 525 and 550 out of it. And you will have a very powerful, naturally aspirated scat pack. This just goes to show with these two cars right here, this new Mustang, that Stellantis has just successfully destroyed Dodge. And it's like, it's just wild that now here we go, that the year that Dodge is basically going to die, we have 800 horsepower cars coming out by both of Dodge's chief competitors, right? So, I mean, even though there's no more Camaro that's going to basically take up the mantle, you still got the Mustang. And let me look at this, right? I'll look at these pictures right here of these colors going to be offered in: red, black, white, like a silver color, the blue, another red, and then have a convertible option that you see right there at the bottom. I'm like, oh man, like I would definitely take either the red one or the blue one with the stripes on it. I mean, dude, these are just awesome looking cars. So I just don't see how there's going to be many people buying inline 6 Hurricane Chargers, and I don't see many people buying the electric Charger like that, right? I mean, my main thing with the styling of this car, this Charger right here would not have been bad if it was only for the electric version of this vehicle, right? It's kind of hard to tell me that this right here is also going to be the body style for the next gen Charger after we literally just had one of the most beautifully looking cars ever. I never was interested in buying a Charger because I do not agree with the Charger being called a 4-door car, because it never was a 4-door car in the past. But I mean, it's kind of hard for me to believe that a car that looks like this Charger right here, it's kind of hard to have me believe that this car right here, the evolution of this car is this car. I just don't see it. I mean, like I said, if it was an electric vehicle, that's one thing. But to go from this, like that's quite frankly, hands down, one of the best looking sedans that you'll probably ever have designed. Like, they should have won awards on this design. One of the most great looking, aggressive looking sedans to this. I just don't agree with design. If it was an electric car and that was it, okay, I can understand that. But for that also to be the gasoline version, I just don't see it. And I mean, then, you know, it's like, if you saw all these vehicles in a lineup, this Charger, let me see, this Shelby, and then whatever this ZR1 gonna look like, I mean, Dodge is gonna be last on the list in terms of design. I mean, that was Dodge's bread and butter, was basically making cars that look great, sounded great. They weren't exactly the fastest cars in the world, because I mean, the GT500 basically smoked everything. A lot of people argue that a Camaro was smoke a red eye and stuff here and there, but it wasn't hard to argue that Dodge had the best designed vehicles. But with these new cars coming out, I just don't see a lot of appeal in people sticking with the brand to buy these cars. And even now, people are kind of revolting on buying the current cars because they're sitting at dealerships, and dealerships have almost a year's supply of Scat Packs, RTs, Hellcats, Red Eyes, even Demons right now, and no one's buying them. And just talking with dealers, I just don't see, you know, what is going to happen unless they put V8s in a new car that's going to turn the needle back to making Dodge back on top. Like, Stellantis has successfully turned Dodge from #1 to #4. Like, I wouldn't give them third place, because it seems as though, let's say if somebody like, let's say if Toyota or something put a V8 in like a little sports car, or like Honda put a V8 in a sports car or something like that, they would take like maybe third place and Dodge be fourth. I just don't agree with the design of the new Charger, because like I said, it does not look like an evolution of this Hellcat. It does not look like an evolution of this car. It does not. I mean, I'm saying that looks like a regression from that to this. It's like a regression. And I mean, it just, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just hard to see how this brand gonna survive. And I've been on Dodge's bandwagon since 2015 when the first Hellcats came out. I've had a TRX, I've had a Challenger RT, I had a Challenger Hellcat, now I got a Demon 170. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. But let me know what you guys think. I mean, if, let's say for example, if Ford actually had this car in the lineup, especially for like next year, they don't necessarily have everything that Shelby did, but they put that supercharger on their new, let's say GT500, whatever, or whatever car they're gonna call it. Do you think it's gonna be over for Dodge? But let me know what you guys think. And until the next time, I'm out.